Hey guys, Ron here, and we're excited to film our first episode of Bmore Talks. Every week, I'm going to talk with community and business leaders and get the skinny on what they're working on in Baltimore. Today, we're excited to have Jim Mills, the Director of Development for Warhorse Cities, with us. Warhorse Cities has recently built a number of award-winning projects around the city, including the Sagamore Pendry Hotel, the Anthem House apartment building, the Westside Police Station, and a bunch of others. Today, we're going to be talking about the plans for all of the different pieces they are working on with the Hollins Market project. Jim, great to see you. So the big question is, why develop in Hollins Market?
So essentially our movement around Hollins came out of Scott Plank's interest in doing some work in West Baltimore through our Community Development Corporation.
Right.
So it all started at the Western Police Station, as you mentioned in the promo, and from there his interest moved to Hollins and then we won the RFP for the redevelopment of the market.
Sure.
So once that happened and he started to look more closely at the community, he realized what a great legacy group of residents there was there, and what a promise of community there.
Sure.
Its proximity to downtown,
Right.
To Biopark. It just seemed like a natural fit to begin to look at investing there.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people in Hollins talk about their neighborhood as the great sort of hidden neighborhood.
Yep.
It's got such a neighborhood feel. So you guys are working on a lot of different projects over there. What is the overall vision of everything that you're working on? Where do you guys see the Hollins Market neighborhood in the next 5 years?
So our plan is really multifaceted. We have been engaged in a vision plan, which starts to begin to look at stitching together all of the different facets of the community and the sort of physical pieces of the community, right? So if the market is the epicenter of the community, how do we begin, excuse me, to make that a place again? So the market and winning the RFP on the market was the first piece.
Sure.
But then how do we begin to connect all of the 7 communities of the Southwest Partnership to the market? Because it's been such a central focus of those communities for so long.
Sure,
for 200 years. So,
right.
So that the overall vision is to begin to look at how do we do that? How do we begin to address personal safety, beautification, trees, street trees, wayfinding,
Sure.
All of those different components to begin to bring the neighborhood out again.
Sure.
We saw a great, successful event with the Neighborhood Lights
Light City.
event.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Absolutely. Yeah, last Friday, and there was a ton of people out.
Amazing turnout.
Yeah. So, and we saw what the community could be like with everybody out and enjoying themselves, and so that's what we hope to aim to do.
Sure.
in that, with that piece.
So most people have probably seen a lot of the media about the market. So let's talk about that. Where is that at in the process? What is the plan? Let's talk about the market.
Yeah. So the market itself is made up of what I call or what everybody calls the head house, which is the larger brick piece, and then the shed building. Mm-hmm. It also has the large parking lot to the north.
Sure.
So we've been engaged, and the city RFP specifically was dealing with the shed building. Mm-hmm. So our renovations are focused around the shed building, basically renovating the shed building into just a great, active space for families to be able to use, the community to be able to use.
Sure. So do you have the latest renditions on your bmorehollins.com website?
Yes, we do.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. So anybody can go there and
Sure.
take a look.
Awesome.
We'll be going to CHAP for approval over the next month. We've got a couple more community meetings coming up as well. So as folks want to come out and take a look and be engaged, they can be.
How has the community embraced what you guys are doing?
I think it's been real positive. We had a great meeting about a week and a half ago.
Sure.
Very positive comments on what we're doing to the exterior. We're trying to really look at how we can keep the historic nature of the building.
Sure.
Still respect that. Try to celebrate the cast iron columns, which are the only sort of remaining historic piece.
Sure.
And then just create again like a great interior space for people to come and gather.
And what about outdoor space?
We're also expanding the sidewalk on the north side. Mm-hmm. So we're taking away a few parking spaces, but it allows us to do farmers markets there as well as to do tables and chairs or folks who want to sit,
Sure.
grab a bite to eat and sit outside on a nice summer night, spring night, or whatever. They can do that.
So you have on the north side, you have a parking lot adjacent to there. What are your sort of thoughts and plans? Where do you guys envision using that space, as well as some of the other properties you guys have around that area? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah,
space.
so what Scott envisions that area to be, the parking lot especially, is Hollins Square, is what we're referring to it as. And it's really just trying to take what we've done in other places, like at the Food Hall in San Francisco and Belvedere Square Market here in Baltimore, take some of the learning that and expertise that we've had, from those pieces, and just begin to activate those spaces. So how can we co-use the parking space, for example, as a place for people to hang out and have food trucks and outdoor events, farmers markets,
Sure.
same sort of thing. So a center of community,
Right.
more like what we're calling the front porch of the community, where people can gather and actually just get out and have a good time.
Let's talk about doing a concert series there, a Summer Sounds concert series.
We've actually got 4 dates sort of in the books right now. We're trying to program for this summer, and then hopefully that'll be a great success as we plan for it to be, and we'll do
Great.
more next year.
Great. So we're excited to be working with you guys on the residential piece, as you guys are working through the properties to redevelop, renovate, as well as some of the new stuff you're building. Let's talk a little bit about that. You guys have quite a few properties coming up, and obviously they're going to be happening in phases. Let's talk a little bit about the first phase and the locations and why they were picked.
Sure. So, our initial investment was through somebody who owned quite a bit of property in the market area, and that became attractive again just based on the community and what Scott saw there. It was a large portfolio, and it was somebody who hadn't been active in renovating and really bringing those properties back. He was just basically sitting on those properties.
Sure.
So, our approach is let's do something with those and get them back on the market, and improve them either through rental properties. We have a number of rental properties,
Sure.
as you know.
Sure.
And then we've got 16 properties that are in the for sale in this first group that we've been marketing through Live Near Your Work,
Sure.
Which is the University of Baltimore.
Right, so that's pretty exciting. Live Near Your Work came out, for University of Maryland Baltimore campus. They have a $18,500 grant for anybody buying in any of the Southwest Partnership neighborhoods.
Right.
And that's been pretty exciting. My understanding is they've already have 80 employees that have signed up for the home buying classes. So it's a pretty exciting time right now for all those neighborhoods.
Yes.
Obviously, you guys are invested in Hollins Market. So tell me a little bit about. I know in that portfolio of properties you just talked about buying, there's quite a few commercial and retail opportunities. And what's the plan and the vision for bringing businesses back to Hollins Market and some of those properties?
Yeah. So right now, it's really sparsely populated. Since we've purchased, we've begun to improve some of those properties. We actually, in the last 3-4 weeks, have gotten a lot of inquiries. So we're real excited. We have a coffee shop, a juice bar, a number of different folks who are looking at the
Sure.
market now. They start to see the excitement as things build. So it's basically the retail frontage across from Hollins Market on the north side, and then also on Carrollton.
Right.
And so we're starting to build the relationships and figure out what's the right mix of vendors there that will complement what we're doing in the market itself.
Sure. No, it's pretty exciting. So just so everybody gets a good idea of timelines, the first phase of the available residential properties are being marketed now, but let's talk about the market and where you see, where that is, how long it's going to take, when it's going to be finished, and then all of the other opportunities, the commercial, the retail, are they all available now? Give us kind of the big picture schedule.
So big picture schedule-wise, we're hoping that we're going to get through a contract with the city on the market. That's the first piece, and that's going to happen in the May timeframe. We're out of pricing right now, trying to get to a budget.
Okay.
And then we'll go back to the city and figure out if we can get to a contract. And if we do, we're optimistic that this fall we'll be ready for construction, and by next summer or so, the market will be reopened for business.
Got it.
So that's the market piece. The parking lot and that exterior piece would probably follow soon after that. And then, we're looking hard, obviously, at the retail pieces and the residential as well. So probably over the next 3-4 years, we're going to see the 50, 60 properties or so that we control, come through and be on the market.
Sure.
So.
Awesome. Now, what is the range of sizes available for the commercial opportunities?
So the commercial piece, just the market itself, we're looking to be as flexible as possible in terms of the layout of the space. And we're just hiring a retail consultant to begin having those conversations in more detail in terms of what's the right mix in terms of the vendors.
Sure.
We're trying to make that market be a little bit of everything. We want to be cognizant of the fact that we have a group of residents who still want a public market, right? I mean,
sure.
it's been a public market for so long,
right.
and we wanted to maintain it as a public market. At the same time, times change, and there are a number of folks who are double income households who they're both working parents, and they want a place to just go and have a bite to eat, or
sure. Prepared foods.
Right, exactly. So and everything in between. So
a wide
it might
variety.
Be
Sure.
a restaurant bar kind of mix, down to prepared foods, pre-prepared foods, grab and go, to a small coffee shop vendor.
Sure.
And in terms of the other commercial spaces, most of those spaces are what you would refer to as mom and pop traditional storefront, Baltimore storefronts.
Sure.
They're 800 to 1,000 square feet roughly on the ground floor, and then they have residential space upstairs. So they're perfect for those folks who are either live work artists who want to have a gallery space, or a furniture maker who wants to live upstairs and build furniture in the back.
Sure.
A lot of these spaces have back of house kind of space as well.
Yeah.
So it's a good space for those kinds of uses, or just restaurant retail.
Sure.
More traditional.
So I'm sure a lot of people want to ask, what is the impact of all of these different projects on the existing neighbors that live there now?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I think, again, what attracted us to the community was its strength as a community. Scott will tell you the story about how when he went to the community after the uprising in 15, that he heard a lot of stories from folks how they basically had like a potluck in the street. And if there was any trouble kind of coming through, they were telling people, we don't want trouble in this neighborhood, so go elsewhere, please.
Sure.
So that sort of community, and again, the legacy aspect, and knowing that there are so many people who've been there for so long,
right.
But then the neighborhood is destabilized over time. And so what we're trying to do is to sort of restabilize the neighborhood.
Add some more anchor to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Using the market as that epicenter again of activity, vitality
Sure.
for the community.
Yeah.
And some of these outdoor opportunities, again, to bring folks out and to be outside and eyes on the street.
Sure.
Makes it a safer place to be, makes it a more active and vibrant place to be.
Yeah, no, this is a pretty amazing project. We're super excited to be working on the residential side of it. I know it's pretty exciting for you guys. There's a lot of moving parts. Really want to thank you for coming today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Definitely. So if anybody wants more information about any of the projects that Warhorse Cities is working on in the Hollins Market area, you can visit their site at bmorehollins.com. That's bmorehollins.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. Take care. Oh, hey guys. We're excited to launch Bmore Talks. Baltimore gets a lot of bad press, and like most big cities, some of it's deserved, but most of it isn't. If you live in Baltimore City, you know there are so many good people doing great things, and our goal is to share with the world all of the good stuff happening in Baltimore, as well as introduce you to the people that are tirelessly working on some of the city's toughest problems. If you're investing in Baltimore, developing neighborhoods, running a nonprofit, keeping your business in the city, fighting crime, or anything else that's making a huge positive impact and want to get your story out, give me a call at 443-414-3338. We'll see if we can get you in on one of our next episodes. Take care. See you next time.